Check this out. Have you ever seen something like this? It looks like a gamepad controller, but it is a live feed from the DJI Ronin 4D. And the coolest thing, I can control everything with this remote on the camera that is over there. I just want to start this video out by saying a huge thank you to DJI for sponsoring this video and allowing me to play around with this camera before it was even released and using a prototype and all that stuff. I've been having so much fun with this camera. And if this is your first time watching me, hey, welcome to the channel. Really hope that you're gonna enjoy this video. And if you do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because that would be appreciated. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well because I do a lot of crazy stuff over on my Instagram stories. This camera has got to be one of the most innovative cameras that I have ever seen in my life. And the reason for it is because it basically has everything that you might need as a one-man band to be able to shoot super high quality videos, short films, commercials, you name it. It has everything jam-packed in here. The camera that I got right here has the ability to shoot in 6K, 48 FPS, full frame, in ProRes RAW. That is insane. And the image quality that you get out of this camera is astounding. When I was shooting a music video, I got pretty blown away by how good the dynamic range of this camera was, because I think we were standing like at the edge of the cliff, and then I pointed the camera out towards the sea, and my hand was perfectly exposed, the sky was perfectly exposed, and the ground was perfectly exposed. And at that point, I kind of knew that this was going to be a great camera to use for the music video, because as we were shooting towards the sunset, we had a lot of backlight, but nothing that actually lit the band members from the other side. But the dynamic range of the camera made it possible to pull back those shadows and still retain all the details that you needed. And being able to shoot that in 6K and 4K allowed me to crop in and out on some of the shots to make them look like they were shot with a different lens, and just allowed for so much more creativity when you jump into post. And when it comes to low light performance, I had absolutely no issues at all. When we were shooting in the middle of the night, we used a couple of pava tubes on the ground, and then the band members stood there, in the middle, and looking at the shots before you grade them, you can see some noise, but as soon as you process the raw files in your editing program of choice, the noise should be gone and it shouldn't be an issue at all. And if you want to go up and shoot 4K 120, you can do that in ProRes RAW as well, but then you get to jump up to Super 35. And you record everything to an SSD that is just sliding in here. Click. And you also have image transmission built in to the camera. So if you want, you can send the image that this camera sees to this external display and just have this shown to your clients if you want to do that. Or you can connect these handles to this display and control all the different aspects of the camera straight from this and have someone else run around with the camera. That is insane. See that? This is like, how? As you can see here in the front and here in the bottom, there's a total of 4 sensors that the camera uses when you're using the Z-axis stabilization. And the way that these work is that they are collecting data points so that the stabilization from the Z-axis is adjusted depending on how everything looks around the camera, which is pretty insane if you ask me. The camera also has built-in variable ND, so you can go from ND2 to ND512 if you want to do that. And this camera that I got right here, which is the 6K sensor, is going to be the smallest one because there's going to be an 8K sensor available as well. And check this out. It's gonna be modular, so I'm not gonna say too much, but I think this might fit on something for the future that is up in the air. Who knows? But being able to change the actual camera house from the brain and operation is something that I think is extremely cool, because then you can go from the 6K to the 8K if you need that and don't have to actually buy a new housing for your camera, because you can just buy the new camera if you want to go for the 8K instead. Since I've been having this camera for a while now, I have been able to try all the different things out and actually use it on a professional shoot, which was the music video. And from my experience, this has been such a fun camera to use because you have the focus pulling right here at the edge of your thumb, and then you can just press the button, go and switch the variable ND if you want to do that. You can go back, you can adjust the focus peaking, all those different things. Makes it so easy with a multifunctional wheel. But you also have a multifunctional wheel here as well that you can adjust if you just want to go like so. And one of the best things about it is that you don't have to use the gimbal just because it's there. You know, it's available for you if you need it. But if you don't want to have it, you just lock it into place and then you have a handheld cinema camera. And being able to have the stabilization in the Z-axis on a camera like this is golden, especially when you're running on some really uneven surfaces where you have to have that smooth stabilization. And when we were shooting the music video, that came very in handy when we were running at the beach, trying to get some cool shots off the band, walking and then running with each member and stuff like that. That definitely helped to achieve those professional looking shots, because I didn't have to think about what kind of surface that I was walking on because the bounces were reduced by the Z-axis. On the left side of the camera, you have all the different controls that you might need. You have the 4D button, which activates the Z-axis stabilization. And then you have different gimbal controls where you can turn on or off the gimbal depending on if you want to shoot handheld or not. You also have the different gimbal modes such as PF, PT, and FPV, and then you have the custom buttons down here that you can adjust the way that you want it to. And then of course we have the SSD drive that everything is recorded to, that you can just swap out on the go because it's so quick to just start shooting on a new SSD drive. On the other side, we have the display port where you connect the display for the camera that you also get in the box. We have a microphone input and then a headphones output, and you also get a full-sized HDMI port. The antennas here in the back is for the external display that I showed you earlier, so that you can see and use the camera from a distance, which I think is incredibly cool because when we were shooting the music video, I had it connected to the external display, so the band members saw exactly what I was seeing in my display when I was shooting the music video, and that was something that helped them get the feeling of what my vision of the music video was. And when I was shooting this, I was shooting everything in manual focus, even though you do get a lighter autofocus system that you can use with the camera as well. And when it comes to the lighter autofocus system, I am blown away about how good it performs, especially when you combine it with the tracking function of the gimbal and camera as well. Let me show you. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna make sure that I have the tracking turned on and then tap my face so that the square around my face turns green. And now I can walk around in the studio. Whoop. And this bad boy here will track me no matter where I go. And try to keep my face in the same place at all times. Being able to have that good of an autofocus in a camera like this is something that is completely unheard of before. And I think that one of the most amazing things is that this is going to open up so many different opportunities for me as a one-man band filmmaker to create new pieces of content that I couldn't do before, because now I can use the tracking, I can use the autofocus combined and just make sure that I set up the scene that way that I want it to, and the camera will do the rest. I wonder. That is just amazing. The reason that I went for the manual focus was because it was incredibly easy to use. And it was also very, very precise. There's absolutely no lag when you are using this focus wheel to control like the distance of the focus. And when I was moving a lot of back and forth between the different band members, trying to get some wide shot, trying to get some close-up shots, it was so easy to just slide back and forth with this wheel. And one of the things that I like a lot with these handles is that they have like a hot switch so that you can just adjust them on the go the way that you want to have them. And you don't only have the rec button on this side, because there is a rec button on this handle as well. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a button inside so that when you're holding it, you're in the, I don't know which finger this is, but it is perfectly aligned with that button. And one of the coolest things with this camera, in my opinion, is that when you buy the camera, you get DJI's own DL mount, which is perfect to be able to use their small DL lenses, which are incredibly sharp, incredibly well built, and incredibly lightweight as well. But if you don't want to use those, check this out, because you can remove the entire mount if you want to do that. And guess what? If you're a Sony shooter, just like yours truly, then we can attach this, and maybe I want to use my Sony lenses. Absolute, Peter. Why not? I say. Look at that. Now you have the 1635 G Master lens attached to this. And the best part about this is that these lenses works flawlessly on the camera. You can do the focus pulling, you can change the aperture, you can change everything without no lag. But this is still a little bit in the works and is delivered by a third party. But overall, my experience has been that these lenses that I got here, the 24mm, the 1635, works incredibly good. Check this out. Let's just boost it up and show you. As you can see right now, I'm adjusting the focus like with the focus wheel, and then I can also go in and adjust the aperture, the camera, without any delay at all. And then you can also set it to auto if you want to do that. But this is revolutionary. This is just purely insanity when you think about it, because now I can use all my Sony lenses on this camera. I mean, how cool is that? I haven't tried them with the autofocus system though, so I can't speak my mind about that. But when it comes to using these lenses as manual lenses and controlling them with the focus wheel, it works insanely good. The batteries that powers this entire thing is the same battery as you got on the DJI Inspire series. So if you have a couple of these laying around, then you can use it on this as well. So you might think to yourself right now, okay, but who is this camera for? This is not a beginner's camera. This is not a camera for anyone that is just starting out. This camera is for professionals or semi-pros, or someone that wants to have a real cinema camera but don't want to pay for all the extra stuff that is required when you buy a cinema camera, because this is everything that you might need in a cinema camera to be able to produce some high quality stuff. And as I said, this has got to be one of the most innovative pieces of camera gear that I have seen in my entire life. And I'm really glad that DJI is constantly pushing the boundaries for filmmakers and try to create stuff that makes it easier for us to make a living doing what we love. And I would love to know your thoughts on this camera and what you think about it. Is there anything that you would like to know? Please do drop a comment down below, because this is a wicked camera. And I can't wait to show you the behind the scenes of the music video that I shot with this camera. It's gonna drop pretty soon, but again, it's just amazingly cool. Yeah, there's not much more to say about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Really hope that you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please do not forget to subscribe, because that would be highly appreciated. And don't forget to join me in on Instagram as well. That is where I do all my crazy stuff. And Peter from Sweden will see you in the next video. Take care.